Let's talk about that Monday Night Raw, the entire segment of Cody Rhodes, The Rock coming out, the backstage moment at the end. This felt urgent. This felt special. I felt like WWE did a really tremendous job putting this together, teasing us with The Rock coming out at the beginning, facing Cody Rhodes, whispering sweet nothings in his ear, like probably, I saw Rhea Ripley at the live event too. And it really felt like we were just gonna get that from The Rock. To back up for a second, The Rock was not advertised for Monday Night Raw. It was supposed to be on next week's episode, the first that he was actually scheduled and announced to come out. So this was a total surprise to have The Rock be there face to face with Cody Rhodes. That part of the segment I thought worked really, it was great because it was just The Rock not talking. So there was more heat on The Rock because the fans in Chicago, which was an amazing crowd, I think that they all expected, as we did at home, The Rock's gonna come out and he's gonna go back and forth with Cody and he's gonna get in his face about everything, and he didn't. He only whispered to him and walked out. The fact that he did that, The Rock just did that, nothing else. You saw him walk out of the ring and he started getting booed like crazy because he didn't play into anything with the crowd. He didn't give them what they wanted, which was the back and forth. And then it felt like on Raw that was all we were gonna get from The Rock. It felt like he was just done, he was gone, and then we would wait until next week and they would play up like, oh, what did he say? And then we have to go to SmackDown and they do something else there and Roman would show up or something. That beginning piece felt very interesting. Overall, Raw, I thought, was like a tremendous show top to bottom, but I gotta talk about this final boss because this version of The Rock is something really, really special now. There's some stuff that I want to talk about though, because I want to mostly focusing in on Roman Reigns and his role in all of this, and we've got other videos on the channel for Unfiltered of like talking about Roman's role in this tag team match, this main event scene, because honestly, watching Monday Night Raw last night, watching The Rock, Cody face to face in the ring, and with the precursor events like the other segments, Rock's promos that he's done on social media, it has felt like it's The Rock versus Cody Rhodes in the main event of WrestleMania. Roman Reigns really feels like non-existent, to be honest, in comparison to what The Rock has been doing. These segments, The Rock's entrance, the Hollywood theme, everything is just clicking now, and we are, what, like 2 weeks away from WrestleMania? We got Raws, we got SmackDowns, and we're done, we go to Mania. This has felt very special, having The Rock doing what he's doing. Going off the cuff, swearing his head off. He was swearing on Monday Night Raw. They had to bleep it all out. There is an intensity to all of it. But again, it really feels like it is just Cody versus Rock, that Roman's not involved. Like the way that these segments have been playing out, I've been sitting there like, I want Cody versus The Rock for the title. That's what I want to see happen, because it's so personal. And Roman is so not important in this. This is the match you want to see. So with this segment, and we'll talk a little bit more about Roman and all of this and where it's kind of going, where it could be going. Now this segment, this backstage moment, Cody goes backstage. It's the end of Monday Night Raw, and you feel like it's gonna be over, and WWE surprises us because we get the Bloodline coming out, attacking Cody, and then bang, The Rock comes in and he starts doing like a 2K game where he starts throwing garbage cans at the player. So immediately the crowd pops huge, because honestly, it is a surprise. Thought The Rock would have been gone. Sounds like he whispered into his ear that like it's gonna make him pay or make him bleed, and that's exactly what happened. You had The Rock destroy Cody Rhodes. This is what I wanted to have happen on SmackDown with Roman and Cody. I wanted this intensity from Roman Reigns. I didn't want this back and forth, just kind of relaxed and whatever, kind of going through the motion segment. I wanted this. I wanted the intensity. I wanted the blood. I wanted to really get more invested into this whole thing. And it has finally culminated of The Rock, the TKO, the final boss, snapping, losing it, being done with Cody and all of this Cody Rhodes stuff, and that Cody got in his business. Cody interfered with this main event with Rock and Roman having their main event match, and Cody got his nose in it, and it's pushed The Rock way too far. I love that this was The Rock just dominating and destroying Cody Rhodes, that Cody didn't get to have a comeback. I also like that he fought off the Bloodline and got them kind of out of the way. This is what I wanted to see happen. It was also shot very well. I like that when they went and they kicked it outside, it's raining outside and they went with it so that it added more drama to it. The Rock just destroying him. It looked like he was gonna throw him over the bridge, like a Rock Austin thing that they were doing. Like, it felt Attitude Era. It felt really, really significant, and that it was towards the end of the show. So like, you were glued to your seat watching this thing play out, and it had that drama. Again, it's dark outside, it's raining, you got The Rock, who's just huge, he's super intense, he's talking all kinds of trash to Cody Rhodes, he gets out the weight belt, he's talking about Mama Rhodes constantly, he's wiping the blood onto the weight belt, and he finally gets Cody busted open and everything. It really, really set the stage for what this match and this feud is all about. So close to WrestleMania. This could have easily been the go home for WrestleMania because of how well it was done. How Rock came off as just this dominant final boss, like Cody does not have a shot against him, and that's what you need to have happen. Cody needs that adversity, in my opinion, more and more and more of it, because it comes off, if it's just Roman and Cody, it's kind of bland, because we saw it last year. So we've seen everything they can kind of do with one another. The Rock coming in there, getting in Cody's face, throwing him into Cody's bus. Like, there's layers to it too. He's throwing him into the door, and Pharaoh's face is on it. And he's Rock's talk trash about the dog for so many weeks. They have done such a good job executing this segment. And as it ended, you got The Rock dropping F-bombs. He's just swearing his head off in this whole thing. It felt like old days of Raw, where you felt like you had to watch, you were captivated by what was going on. There's swearing, there's more violence, there's blood, and not only that, so you got Cody destroyed at the end of all of it. He stuck his nose in The Rock's business. You finally have all of these pieces kind of coming together. Then it's going to be leading into next week's Monday Night Raw. That's what I loved here, is that it plays into, I need to see and tune into next week. This is what's been missing even under Triple H, and for Vince forever, but even under Triple H, this is the stuff that I feel has been missing from Raw, from WWE as a whole, is this urgency of, I need to tune into next week. I need to see the next episode. I need to see what's going to happen next to Cody Rhodes, to The Rock, how he's going to respond, what's Roman going to do. I need to see all of that. And WWE, I feel specifically, has been missing this for so long. And it's almost a bummer in one way, where it takes The Rock to do this, to have the freedom, the ability to have his own writers and Brian Gewirtz and put together all of these segments with WWE. It's almost too bad that it takes The Rock to have to do all of this, to be able to do all this, and we don't get it on a weekly basis with anybody else. This is also one of the problems I have with WWE, with the writing and the way they structure the shows, is that you got The Rock. The Rock is, no handcuffs, say virtually whatever he wants, and look at the product that we get. Look at what we get as a result of this. And it's not just The Rock. He's got to play off of with Cody and the whole story that they're working on. So it's a team effort and all of that. But it shows you that, like, WWE is capable of doing these things, doing these segments, doing this intensity. And it's not that you need superstars to bleed at the end of Raw every single week, because then you become numb to it, and it's got nowhere to go. So then it doesn't turn into a very fun product to watch, where it becomes more predictable. But what I'm saying is, I wish that they would elevate other wrestlers, other storylines to that level, where the writing is just kind of taken up a notch. The story feels more impactful, more meaningful, deeper. The wrestlers have more freedom for what they say. It feels a little bit more natural, feels off the cuff. Kind of felt that way when we had Punk and Drew and Seth in the ring. That felt very ad-libbed, felt very open, of just like, go out there, here's 15-20 minutes, go have at it, go make fun of each other and rip each other apart, get these points across. Felt much looser. And that's what I hope WWE does, when they can see how fans respond to stuff like this and say, okay, we can do not the storyline, but we can take elements of this in terms of loosening things up with the presentation, with the storylines, with the dialogue, and we can apply that to other stories we have. Like, let's amplify that with Chad Gable, with Sami Zayn, Gunther, Becky, Rhea. Let's get that kind of stuff going. Bailey, like, Let's intensify things a little bit. The biggest thing that I would say for WWE, because this proves that it still works, it's a tried and true method for wrestling shows. AEW could do the same thing. The sense of urgency and going off the air and what's going to happen next week. As a kid that grew up the Attitude Era, that's the stuff that I loved at the end of Raw every single Monday night. Now, we have a lot of wrestling every single week. We got hours and hours and endless programming. And back then, you had Raw, and then you had SmackDown eventually come out in the end of 99 or whatever. Because you only had Monday Night Raw, you only had 2 hour block to get your WWE fix in, there was more urgency. Now we have 3 hours, we got SmackDown, we got PLEs every other week, it feels like. There's a lot to consume all the time. But what Attitude Era did so well, in my opinion, was that going off the air, JR screaming into the mic, what's gonna happen, tune in next week, because oh my gosh, look what we left with. That's what you want, is that drama. We don't always get that, and again, you can't always go to that degree of The Rock smashing Cody Rhodes into a bus and bleeding every week and swearing his head off. It won't work. But it shows that they're on the right path and they're doing some really cool stuff. And it makes me just want to see The Rock every single week and see the Cody Rock story way more than Roman Reigns. So that is the other half to all of this. What's going on with Roman Reigns? Within all of this, as a character, as how they are positioning him, I'm cool with Tribal Chief. I like Roman Reigns. I'm always good watching Roman Reigns do his thing, but with the WrestleMania main event and how this has kind of been going, Roman feels fourth man in line. Like, Seth has more skin in the game. Seth's got way more going on than Roman Reigns does within all of this. They did the press conference originally where we had the face-off, and that's when the story kind of got started. I felt like it was going to be really much more interesting for Roman Reigns butting heads with The Rock. And we kind of got that for like a week where Roman needed Rock to acknowledge him. There was hesitation. The Rock did acknowledge him, but it's kind of like, all right, I'll acknowledge you, but I'm really final boss. Like there's Tribal Chief and then there's final boss. After that, it's just been kind of standard Roman Reigns. And especially that promo on SmackDown between Cody and Roman, that I needed more intensity. And I talked about that in another video that I probably just already posted today. But I needed that segment to be like this Rock segment. I needed Roman and Cody to fight, to bleed, to get beaten down for just more intensity, more urgency, doubt in Roman Reigns' mind that can he pull this off? Can he trust The Rock? None of that has been addressed. And because we don't get Roman Reigns every single week, we also don't get him on social media. Roman really feels out of place right now with where this story is going. Because again, this, after Raw, this feels, if you just showed somebody who's very casual and you said that this is like WrestleMania's coming, you totally just assume that, oh, it's Rock and Cody main event, oh, for the belt, right? Roman's there, but he's not doing anything else in terms of The Rock is going on social media before he shows up for like SmackDown and doing a 15-20 minute promo and swearing and getting intense and forwarding the story. We don't get any of that with Roman Reigns. And then Roman Reigns does show up on SmackDown. We get the entrance, the pyro, acknowledge me, a little bit of back and forth, and it feels very casual and it doesn't have the urgency. Now, this could be what they want to do. It could be that they're trying to play into this more of Roman's not going to care about Cody in the main event. Him and The Rock got this. Roman is just super chill and doesn't feel like he has to escalate things because he feels like it's a foregone conclusion. He called Cody Rhodes like it's number 2, and that's how he feels about him. And then The Rock, the contrast is like The Rock is so intense. Maybe this is how they are writing this on purpose. Let's have Roman feel like it's all cool, doesn't have to worry. The Rock is doing the heavy lifting to then forward their story, their eventual story of Rock and Roman for like Mania 41. Because I think that at Mania 40, the tag team match, I think Rock and Roman need to win that. And basically, Rock needs to dominate and win to then have Roman lose in the main event of night 2 so that The Rock can be like, I've done everything. I've beat up Cody Rhodes. I've destroyed Cody Rhodes. I won the tag team match with us. You just had to go and finish him off and you couldn't do it. Then it's and you lost the belt. So then you end up with the story of Rock and Roman. But something needs to happen, in my opinion, where things intensify for Roman Reigns. Because I'm going into night 2 main event, not really caring at all about Roman's current position in all of this. I want to see Cody get the belt, and I want to see Cody versus The Rock after WrestleMania fight one-on-one at SummerSlam, or go to WrestleMania 41 and fight one-on-one there. Because Roman, it ain't working for me, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on Monday Night Raw. What did you think of the whole segment? And if you enjoy unfiltered videos like this, click this one right here, because we're talking more about this main event. And does the main event have a problem? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.